Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone is a continuation of the atmospheric action game with survival elements from the Farm 51 studio. The events unfold in an alternate reality where the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone has become a source of the mysterious mineral Chernobylite. You will play as Cole Gray, a former peacekeeper who finds himself in a deadly zone after an attack on a PMC base. The main new features of the second part are an open world, cooperative mode, and the ability to switch between first and third person views. The combat system has become more dynamic. Now you can use both firearms and melee weapons. Crafting and survival still play a key role. The game was created using the Unreal Engine 5, so we can expect realistic graphics and a gloomy atmosphere. However, bugs and technical issues were spotted in early versions, but in principle, the developers have time to fix them. The release should be very soon. The game will be available on all platforms. In general, friends, if you are a fan of the gloomy post-apocalyptic worlds of Stalker and Metro, this game should definitely interest you. By the way, the game's page is already on Steam, so add it to your wish list. A game called Dying Light: The Beast. Techland has announced that it will show a new trailer at the Game Awards ceremony. The video reveals plot points and gameplay footage. The video demonstrates how Kayla Crane is used as a lab rat, including a moment dedicated to frantic first-person gameplay. Fans can expect a lot of violence, parkour, and zombies, but it's all in the style of Dying Light. Dying Light: The Beast is described as a thrilling zombie adventure in a post-apocalyptic forest. After a 13-year experiment, you escape to track down your captors and take revenge, but discover that there is much more at stake. One of the main mechanics will be the ability to transform Kyle into a monster, which happened after he was experimented on with zombie blood. A new unusual game called Holstin. The events of Holstin unfold in 1992 in a remote town called Czernia Kolonia, located in eastern Poland. A disaster engulfs everything it touches, including people. The main character arrives in town to find his missing friend. The horror scenario was inspired by the TV series Twin Peaks. You will have to collect weapons and scarce supplies, kill monsters, and interact with the locals. They are gradually losing their minds, and in order to understand the townspeople, you will need to immerse yourself in their inner world. The developers were guided by franchises such as Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And of course, one of the key features of this game is its visual style. The graphics combine pixel art and dynamic lighting. The camera is not static here. There is an isometric view, a side view, third-person shooting, and a first-person view. Holstin will be available on all existing platforms. A game called Project S. At the G-Star 2024 exhibition, South Korean developers from Lion H Studio presented an unusual game codenamed Project S. The footage shown demonstrates excellent graphics and an interesting artistic direction. The game is being developed on the Unreal Engine 5 and is somewhat reminiscent of the well-known Dead Stranding in style. The plot of Project S centers on humanity's confrontation with an invasion of huge alien creatures. Players must maintain control of the last line of defense at all costs and enter a destroyed shelter to find their last chance for salvation. It seems that there's some kind of weapon or secret device capable of driving the invaders from our land. The game is available on all platforms, so go ahead and check it out. Total Chaos. Steam users have been given the opportunity to play a demo version of the new game Total Chaos completely free of charge as part of the recently launched Steam Next Fest Festival. This horror game with shooter elements is being developed by the creators of the successful video game Turbo Overkill. Total House is essentially one huge mod for the shooter Doom, which was released in 2016 and received high praise from gamers. The game is set in a mining town. As part of the adventure, you will need to explore a variety of deserted settlements, and there will be quite a few of them. Your main task is to find out what happened to the local residents who suddenly disappeared from their towns and villages. The main features of the game, as noted by the developer himself, are the ability to modify weapons in every way possible using resources found on the map, an abundance of dangerous enemies, and a well-developed and in-depth inventory system. So friends, if you are interested in the game and you like Doom in general, don't miss the chance to try the demo on Steam. Why not? The demo is completely free. God Save Birmingham. At GameSea, developers from Ocean Drive Studio are calling on gamers to grab their pitchforks and head to the medieval world of gaudy Birmingham to try to survive the undead invasion. An open world and well-developed mechanics await you to help you fight the zombies. The events of gaudy Birmingham, oddly enough, take place in 14th century Birmingham. Here, the player takes control of a simple peasant who is forced to fight off zombies. In the fight against zombies, you will have to rely on your trusty pitchfork, sturdy armor, and tools of that era. God Save Birmingham promises to release in early access on Steam. Polish studio Blomber team, known for its recent remake of Silent Hill 2, has revealed some new footage from its upcoming project, Cronos: The New Dawn. The developers have also shared some details about the game. Cronos: The New Dawn is a third-person survival horror game with time travel. The studio says it was inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing, the German series Dark, the game Dead Space, and a little bit of Dark Souls in terms of difficulty. The protagonist of the game is a traveler, one of the members of the eponymous group, which is described as time divers. Such guys are usually sent to the ruins of human civilization, whose main goal is to find important people from the past with the help of a special tool to take their essence. According to the plot, the world met its end in the 1980s, after which ruins and wastelands were formed, inhabited by monstrous creatures known as orphans. These are the remnants of humanity, and they can take various forms, each of which has unique abilities. The gameplay will also be challenging. According to the developers, the game will not be an easy walk in the park. In battles, you will have to use your entire arsenal and, of course, be quick on your Us developers from Canadian studio Rock Factor have released a new 7-minute gameplay video of their dark, third-person action-adventure Hell Is Us. The events of Hell Is Us will take place in an alternate 1993 in the fictional state of Hydia, which is experiencing civil war. The main character is Remy. He sets off for home in an attempt to find his loved ones and deal with the aftermath of the catastrophe in the country, which has been ravaged by civil strife. The video focuses on the process of exploring locations. The developers have once again noted that Hell Is Us will not feature the task markers typical of modern games. To find the right character or item, you will have to rely on your own navigation skills. There will be no quest log either, so your ability to correctly interpret and remember the clues you receive will definitely come in handy in this game. But of course, you won't have to approach a quest completely blindly. Remy has a tablet where information about characters and locations will be recorded. In general, I understand that it will be something like a pocket guide and bestiary. Therefore, yes, the player will definitely form an idea of the internal structure of the state of Hydia. Hell Is Us will go on sale on September 4th this year. The game will be released on many platforms, so get ready to play. A game called Nobody's Left. Nobody's Left was first shown a couple of years ago, but just recently the authors at Mad Rain Studio opened a page for this adventure action game on Steam, which caught my attention. Where does it all begin? When the situation in the world becomes more fragile than ever, the last vestiges of peace are engulfed by war. The once safe paradise turns into a post-war apocalyptic city where lawlessness and the law of the jungle reign supreme. No one can feel safe anymore. Fear reigns everywhere, and survival becomes a necessity. Now all people have only one task: to protect their loved ones. But how valuable is it? You will soon find out. The game is planned for PC only. Unfortunately, there is no word on consoles yet. The Lost Fragment Japanese indie studio has delighted gamers with its new first-person survival horror project called The Lost Fragment. The trailer shows the main character armed with a pistol wandering through the abandoned corridors of a hospital. The visual style of the location is eye-catching. The scenery is reminiscent of classic games from the Resident Evil series. However, with more realistic details, the developers are clearly focusing on creating an atmosphere in which every sound and shadow can cause a feeling of anxiety. Overall, the gameplay trailer promises an exciting survival horror experience with photorealistic graphics and a tense atmosphere. Despite the lack of details about the plot, the project is already generating interest and a desire to learn. A game called Blight Survival. It is a medieval cooperative game in which you and 3 other players must battle the walking dead and bandits in a desperate attempt to find and destroy the source of the plague, a terrible disease that is destroying the earth. The game takes place in a god-forsaken land where 2 desperate kingdoms are engaged in endless war. In this purgatory of the fallen, a new strain of plague has emerged. Gaining strength and feeding on spilled blood, it spreads rapidly, turning people into monsters. All humans attack only you and your allies. You, the only brave ones, must venture into the unknown and put an end to the relentless plague. Viewers greeted the first gameplay of Blight Survival with rave reviews, especially for the graphics, animation, and atmosphere. Some also saw elements of other zombie action games in the project and have already dubbed it the medieval The Last of Us. The game has a page on Steam, so let's all add it to our wish list. A game called Blight Survival. It is a medieval cooperative game in which you and 3 other players must battle the walking dead and bandits in a desperate attempt to find and destroy the source of the plague, a terrible disease that is destroying the earth. The game takes place in a god-forsaken land where 2 desperate kingdoms are engaged in endless war. In this purgatory of of the fallen, a new strain of plague has emerged. Gaining strength and feeding on spilled blood, it spreads rapidly, turning people into monsters. All humans attack only you and your allies. You, the only brave ones, must venture into the unknown and put an end to the relentless plague.